Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Healthy Heroes Test Kitchen. I'm Rhonda, and today we are going to be making Morning Glory muffins. Now, when you look at all these ingredients, I know it can be a little bit daunting because there's a lot of ingredients, but the Morning Glory muffins are chock full of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber, protein, and the good thing about them is one muffin will actually keep you full all the way through until lunchtime. Also, you can make these the night before your shift or whether you're going to be even traveling for work or whatever you're doing. You can freeze them, you can bring them with you, one or two will suffice. So let's go ahead and get started. Very simple. We're going to mix our dry ingredients first. So the first thing we do is we take 2 cups of whole wheat or all-purpose flour. I'm using whole wheat just because it's a little bit more healthy than all-purpose flour because all-purpose flour is white and processed. So here we go. We're going to just add the dry ingredient into our dry bowl. And then next we're going to add 3/4 cups of sugar. Now I used white sugar. You can use white sugar or you can mix brown sugar and white sugar together. It's okay. The reason why I'm using white sugar is it's going to absorb some of the water from a lot of our wet ingredients because we do use a lot of fresh products in the Morning Glory muffin. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Next, we're going to use 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. See how fast this goes? I'm clearing the table right off. And we're just going to give them a quick stir just to mix them in. This way you can see what I'm doing here. I'll do it carefully, otherwise it's all going to fly out all over the place. And I can smell that cinnamon. That's the problem with these types of things. Nobody can smell what I'm smelling. And so I kind of feel bad. You can just see what I'm doing. Okay. Now, next what we're going to do is add a little tiny bit of salt, 1/4 teaspoon, and mix that in as well. Perfect. All right, let's start putting some wet ingredients together. So I have 3 eggs, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in here and whisk real quick. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I can just go ahead and put that right in my wet ingredients. It's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my oil, which is a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Now for things like this, vegetable oil works the best because it's going to keep your muffin moist and it's not going to change and alter the flavor of it. For example, if you were to use something like olive oil, it would definitely alter the flavor. So I'm just going to do a quick mix here. And now I'm ready to go ahead and incorporate this into my dry. Okay. We'll give this a quick stir. Get everything blended up nicely. These are great. They're probably, well, it all depends on what you use because with a Morning Glory muffin, I was going to talk about calories. But first, let me say with a Morning Glory muffin, they're yours. So, for example, if you don't like nuts, don't add nuts. If you want to add raisins, feel free to add raisins. Now, you can see that it's a little bit clumpy. And that's okay because we're about to start adding some more ingredients that will give you some moisture. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add apple. So I grated some apple, and it's just 1 regular size apple. Now don't mind the fact that it turned brown. Apples do that when they're exposed to air because the sugar content comes out of the apple, and that's why you're seeing the brown. We'll go ahead and stir that. I like to stir as I incorporate each ingredient just to make sure it's evenly blended in. And now I have carrots, and we have 2 cups of grated carrots. It looks like a lot of work, but you know what? If you just get yourself a little hand grater, it takes 2 seconds to grate these carrots and that apple. Stir all this in. So as you can see, what we've added so far, we've got protein from our eggs, we've got carbohydrate from our whole wheat flour, and we've got vitamins, minerals, antioxidants from the apple and from the carrots. And now I'm going to add some crushed pineapple. This is getting thick. Okay. So let's see, it's 1 cup of crushed pineapple. So for this, I cheated. I just bought it from the can. Feel free to do that. Make life easier for yourself. You don't have to reinvent the wheel whenever you cook. And easier is better. And of course, always buy what's on sale too. So some people will say, well, what kind of product do you buy? What brand? Well, another thing is, what's at my grocery store might not be at your grocery store. So we have to remember that too. Now, it says in the recipe to either add a cup of walnuts or a cup of pecans. I love both. So what I did was I did a 1/2 cup of pecans and a 1/2 cup of walnuts. And I'm going to go ahead and incorporate them now. And I'm also doing a 1/2 cup of shredded coconut. So this is going to give you your healthy fat, some omega-3 in the walnuts. We're going to stir that right around. And now that we've got some of the wet fruits and veggies in here, it's making a much easier batter to stir than it was earlier. So far, that's what we look like. And we're going to just make sure we incorporate everything in here smoothly. And then lastly, I'm just going to put in a little bit of applesauce just to add a little bit more moisture. And that's just a 1/2 cup. And now it's perfect. So what we're going to do is bake these at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. Everybody's ovens are different. And if you want to just bake right in your muffin pan, make sure that you spray your muffin pan first because these will stick. I used, because it's actually Memorial Day weekend, red, white, and blue muffin liners just to be festive for the weekend. And we're going to go ahead now and fill up our muffins. These don't rise a lot, so you can fill them almost to the top. I just use an ice cream scooper, 1 scoop per muffin tin. That one's going to have a little bit more. It's like when you were a little kid and you looked at every single one and picked the biggest one. Now, some people add raisins to theirs. Some people that are allergic to nuts would omit the nuts. Again, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with them. As long as you have the base down, as long as you have the fundamentals like your flour, your eggs, your sugar, your baking soda, all of those things are the fundamentals because that's what's going to cause these to rise and to set and to stabilize. But so far as what you want to add, you can do whatever you want. Making a mess. And if you have a little bit more of a chunk of an apple in one like this one, when I was grating it, I came to the end. That's okay too. It doesn't really matter. That's a little one. All right, so these are now ready to go into the oven. I'll add some more of that one there. Make it fair. Okay, so we're going to pop them in the oven now for about 30 minutes. And with the magic of TV, you'll see what they look like in about 2 seconds. Okay, everybody, the Morning Glory muffins are done. They've been in the oven for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. And during that time, I had a surprise. My friend Heather joined. Hi, Heather. Good to see you.
Hello, Rhonda.
So we made Morning Glory muffins, and they include pretty much everything but the kitchen sink, as you know. So it's the grated apple, pineapple, coconut. I use walnuts and pecans, cinnamon, sugar, wheat flour. I'm trying to think of what else I used. Shredded carrots. But you can add raisins. You can omit things. You can add things, of course, because they're yours. And as always, it's to your preference. So I'm going to pull them out. I've already got one batch out, as you can see. This is the second one, fresh out of the oven here. I'm going to put them here because they're quite hot. And now we will cut into one and see what they look like. I'm so excited. So of course, red, white, and blue wrappers. Happy Memorial Day weekend. You'll probably see this way after Memorial Day, but maybe by the 4th of July, you'll see this.
Love that. I love it.
Yes.
It's always appropriate to be patriotic.
Right. Always appropriate. And it's summertime, so well, not that the weather would tell you that, but let's see what we got on the inside. Perfectly cooked.
I bet it's going to be very moist with those ingredients.
Oh yeah, and there's vegetable oil in here too. So yes. So fresh out of the oven with a little bit of fresh butter on there would be amazing. Now with these, they're very calorically dense with the nuts in there, and you can use brown sugar. You can use white sugar. I used white sugar in mine only because I wanted it to absorb a little bit of the moisture because we did have a lot of the grated fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
But they're amazing. High in fiber. They've got protein. These will keep you full. One muffin is really all you need. Two, if you really want a little bit more. But if you eat one of these for breakfast, they will keep you full until lunch.
Delicious.
Yeah, they're so good. You can make them at home. You can bring them with you to work. You can have them during your drive to work. You can make them at your station if you're in a firehouse, however you want to do it, or even just for, a weekend breakfast. Amazing. They're amazing. So again, happy eating. Stay healthy, stay safe. And remember, slow your eating down. We eat so fast as first responders. We don't want to be our own choking hazards, right? So always say, put your fork down between bites, talk between bites, take a sip of water between bites so you know the drill. All right, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.